Lucio.
And Layla.
All right.
You guys.
Hey, guys.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you want to start off first?
Why don't we go ahead and discuss what is going on with Lupat?
Oh my god. My god.
What you got in your brain right now?
The last episode, we saw that Noel kind of just give himself up. Give himself up to Gouge.
Yeah.
So it was really cool seeing the camaraderie with the team. As far as even the Patrangers, they're like, you know what, we got to save them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really nice seeing that. You kind of got to see a little of their acting chops a little bit. They're a little more serious.
Yeah, for sure.
And then one of my favorite things about this episode is Umika has like a plan. She has like what she envisions how things are going to end after all the collection pieces are back and when their family is back, and she wants to continue working at this place with the whole family and have the cops be regular customers. So it's nice to see that they see an end to this road.
Right.
But obviously, by the end of this episode, things have changed.
Right. It's at... Man, like, I knew we were going to get to the finish line.
Yes.
Right. And one of the big things about... one of the high concepts of the show is the idea that the Lupinrangers are hiding their identity from everybody.
And I was wondering when they were going to reveal it.
And there was even a point watching the show where I'm going, what if they don't?
And I would totally have been fine with that.
But no, this is the episode where they actually finally had to be confronted with the decision of do we or do we not.
One thing though, I may have missed it. What motivated them to reveal themselves? Did he say, if you don't reveal yourself, I'm going to straight up just kill Noel right here?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's especially I want to point out, Noel is in the classic questionable Toku use of putting somebody in a cross. It is.
It's been used before.
Oh man,
I think we saw it in Q Ranger.
We did.
We saw it in Q Ranger.
It's a time-honored tradition. I should probably make a collection, and you should probably look at me, follow me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll make a collection of a bunch of times where the cross is used in a very uncomfortable way in Toku shows, from Kamen Rider, from Ultraman to Sentai. Like you said, Q Ranger use it. They do it clearly till now, and every time they do it, I went, well, I mean, I'm glad that's consistent.
Yeah.
40, 50 years on, you still make it a little awkward.
So pretty much this episode was their swan song a little bit. It's kind of like what would I compare it to as far as it's kind of like when Batman revealed himself to like Gordon and Catwoman at the end of it. Like it's just like, well, there's nowhere else to go. I'm back into this corner.
And especially because it's another case where it's like Gouch is like not even that. Like they're transmitting it, and the world knows.
Yes.
The world will know if they do it or not.
I think it's funny that a lot of those people. Oh, those are the people at that restaurant.
That
one restaurant in all of Japan. We all go to that restaurant. But they don't because it's empty all the time.
Like, oh yeah, no. We always watch them when it's the off hours. No, I mean, here's the great thing about the reveal. I feel. Of course they're gonna do it.
Yes.
But one of the things I love about the reveal.
I love this scene where they didn't show the helmets first. That's a classic. That's a classic.
I keep bringing this is the thing. Every time you watch a Sentai show, there's always that moment where you wonder when are they going to do a helmet off in the show. Which I mean by that, obviously, I mean when the helmets aren't going to be worn, but we see the actors in the suits, and it's always the thing I look forward to. And sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes they'll do it in the show. Sometimes they'll do it in one of the special movies that's available on DVD or Blu-ray. But it's always a fun treat to see, when are you going to do this bit? When are you going to have them not wear their helmet? But this is one of those cases where I really feel like this is a moment where it feels like it works the best for me because their identity is secret. And also, this is great. When they do the line of, like, we're the thieves that everyone's talking about after they take their masks off.
You got a little grin, a little smile.
I did.
Yeah.
And I love, too, what that line's been used since the beginning of their introduction, right? Since their very first show. And so the idea that, like, now it really comes... That line's even got more impact because it's them revealing who they are and going, we're the thieves.
Yes.
That everyone's talking about. And it's almost... I almost want to wonder if, like, imagine if, like, was that line... Because it almost feels like it's such a perfect way to use that line that they say every episode, every time they show up, that I'm wondering, was that line, like, reverse engineered? Did the writer think...
Yeah, it's like at the reveal of the Lupinrangers, we want, some big line at the end, and then let's keep going back to it. It's kind of like with Endgame.
Yeah.
With the title for Endgame.
Sure, yeah. No, exactly. Also, don't forget, folks, if you want us to read your comments or questions, don't forget to do the super chat.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. That way you can see it right away and we can answer it or just read it right off the bat. Yep. Don't forget those super chats.
Yeah. Another thing that I really liked about it is Toma and Kairi, before they decided to make the reveal, they looked to Umika first.
Yeah.
As if, we're on board with this, but we all have to be on board.
Right.
So they had a scene where they're just both looking at her and it's like, what do you want to do? Mm-hmm. And she had to, make the decision that we're backed into a corner. There's nothing else we can do. Let's just go for it.
Right.
Let's just go for it. Do you think there's anything that you feel like they lost when revealing themselves to the community?
Obviously the privacy. And also it's good to know that Umika.
What's so different with the Patarangers though?
Because it's one of those cases where it's since they're known cops.
Yeah.
And they are known to be as part of the special unit of cops. Mm-hmm. So, they never they didn't have to worry about secret identity because it's everyone knows who they are. They're the cops who have the special suit armor up. Mm-hmm. Also, I do find it hilarious that the mask reveal, obviously, since episode 1, the joke is if you look at them long enough, you can tell it's the guys.
Exactly. If they're standing right there, it's clearly them.
But there is, of course, a line.
It's that Clark Kent thing.
It's not just that. There's a line, if you remember the auction episode. Mm-hmm. It's a throwaway, hey, we gave you the answer why no one figured that out line, in which Noel goes, thankfully, with the masks we designed, no one can clearly identify our faces. It's such superhero BS. I love it, but it's straight superhero BS.
It's straight up like Robin from Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it's well, if you can see the floppy hair.
Yeah, that's right. But I did like that. I did like that towards the end when they met up. They've always had this little truce, oh, you guys are kind of like vigilantes, but we'll work with you for the common good.
Yeah.
And I was hoping. We don't even know though, because once they finished off Gouge, they just left.
Yeah.
We don't know what the real the cops are actually going to do. Mm-hmm. As far as whether they're going to arrest them, have a conversation with them. What do you think they were going to do?
Oh, after
all said and done, Gouge is dead. They come back down. They meet back up with the Patrangers. What do you think they would have done?
That's a thing. I think even they're not sure what they're going to react. I maybe there's a part of me that thinks maybe Cager would have even let them go.
Really?
I think so. He's.
It would have been like that Paul Walker Vin Diesel scene at the end where he kind of walks away.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well. But
Sorry.
Also, Point Break,
first.
where Keanu knew he had to let go. Yes, it is both Point Break and Fast and the Furious, because all of Patrangers is Keanu or Paul Walker.
Yes, it is Keanu and Paul Walker.
How do you feel about Sakia right now? How do you think he's dealing with?
He's super conflicted, but for me, I feel like. If you examine what the Lupinrangers are actually doing, they're helping still. It's vigilante work. Mm-hmm. I feel like does he see the world so black and white that he can't accept that she's on that side?
Yeah, of course. That's absolutely. I think that's the thing. That's what makes Sakia kind of naive and why he's the youngest member of the group. You know, there's a moment.
Do you feel like the other two are on the same page as him, or do you feel like they're a little bit more accepting?
Definitely a little bit more accepting, but you can still see the conflict in them.
Yes.
One of the things I really love about the reveal and how Sakia deals with it is that Sakia, he can't even look at Umika.
Yeah.
He understands they have to finish the job. They have to finish the fight, but he could barely look at her. And I thought that was
because she lied to him. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he felt like they were on the same page. They were kind of like friends, and
and maybe more he was hoping for.
Yeah, and the fact that she couldn't tell him the truth.
Yeah,
he's a little hurt by that.
And he stood up for her.
Yes.
And kept saying no, impossible. That can't be right. And I loved.
So it's a farther fall for him.
Exactly.
Versus for Kiichiro and
Tsukasa.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love about. Because he's got to process it.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a while for him to really, really understand how he's got to feel about it. And I really love that. Even in the suit, you can tell that Sakuya is like, it's like, okay, fine, yeah, we'll finish it. Let's just go, or we'll take care of this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, like you can tell he's like, I can't even do this right now.
Can we talk about the scene where the Dom took all of Gouge's and the other monsters' pieces? Like, oh, you're on your own. You're on your own.
Yeah.
So we know that one of his pieces or a few of his pieces has that ability to control other collection pieces.
Right.
Why hasn't he used that on the Rangers? He could easily just get.
You're right.
Yeah. Were you able to decipher any of the collection pieces just from looking at them?
Oh, right off of the top of
I
right.
saw Saba.
You saw Saba, yeah. It's a little trickier, and especially because they're all kind of cobbled up together.
Yeah.
If you guys do know, and you can definitely identify what's on the screen right now, I think maybe I see it.
I think I see a little.
I see a Q Ranger thing. I think.
I see a. I think I see an SPD morpher.
Yes, I think you're right.
Omega.
Oh,
you see, look at that little spaceship thing. That's from Patrangers in Space.
Or Tokuger. That could be a train.
Yeah.
That could be a train.
So that's interesting. If you guys can decipher what these things are, hit us up on THS Hashtaggers, our Facebook group, where you guys can continue the conversation from the chat after the show is over, and we would like to see who gets the most pieces right. That'd be fun.
Awesome. Please do. Okay. Gosh does do one hardcore move before she goes.
What's that?
She pulls out her safe.
It's like a no.
Screw you. You're gonna die. If I'm gonna die, you're gonna die. And she just shoves it into the, I guess like a round 2 version of the hamster mods.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
Don't forget THA's hashtaggers.
He's a pretty cool Gangler though. I like the look. He's scary. He's a scary looking Gangler.
No, and I was a big fan of him when he first showed up, and I mean it's kind of a bummer. He does it's just now a suit.
Yeah.
So it's just a suit. Let me ask you a question. Right now, obviously, the big final push before they destroyed the monster was like everyone used all their super power-ups and weapons, etc. Do you miss the days of the giant bazooka blaster stuff, like the power blaster in Power Rangers, or the howling blaster?
But do you remember with those days, it became super repetitive though?
Of course, that's true.
Super repetitive. While I like the blast, I do enjoy, and our producer Nagami loves it too. The Magnum gun. I think that's.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't use it as much as they should.
And they don't use it in the way that it was used
in
the first time.
In the very first time, it looked super OP. Like it was blasting through mountains.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if there's like a setting. It's like, oh God, turn it down to like 5. It's a little too much overkill.
We can't blow up a mountain every time.
Because I feel like that gun, it would just like kill every Gangler it comes across.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like it's super overpowered, but I feel like they're holding back a little bit.
When you start with the first setting of the weapon being built like mountain destroying, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe like
ease into it. It's like, hey, wait, there's actually the secret switch.
Yeah, maybe that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a bit much.
But yeah, I do miss like a power cannon, gun or something like that. But I feel like it will get pretty repetitive.
And it did. You know what? You are right. It does get pretty repetitive, and already we deal with repetitiveness which still happens in this episode, when a monster dies and then grows and then
I'm gonna be honest. Every time that happens, I just skip right through to the end part.
That's where I realize I've grown up a tad. Where it's like as a kid,
like I can't sit through this anymore. I can't do it.
Well, no, it's like as a kid, like robots. I love giant robots. As an adult, I went, this really adds nothing to the story.
Imagine having a conversation with your younger self. Why are you skipping this? What are you doing?
What? No, we always watch this part. I mean, yeah, but don't you realize it's essentially the same thing
like
every
you talk
time?
to your kids like, it's 1993. Look, he's doing the same exact thing. Look at this. Look at this.
It's literally just the same footage of the sword swipe. What? It's the same thing.
My friend made the cosplay last 2 Power Morphicons ago. He got so tired. His arm got super tired of doing that same move over and over and over again. Everybody like, do the slash. Like, damn it.
And then
the same exact move.
Eventually he should be like, how about this? I will film it and then just give it to you guys.
I'll just text it to you.
Yeah, no, it's the same.
It's the same move. I mean, obviously with the new series, the fight scenes are a little different. It's CGI but it's still like the end result is still the same.
It's still the same.
It's still the same.
Yeah.
So it just kind of like skip through it.
Right.
Skip through it.
But this we're ending.
It is.
It's ending,
and I'm very impressed of how it's going.
It's got one more to go. Apparently, folks point out it's got one more to go.
One more episode.
Apparently, it's got one more episode to go. I thought I heard it was going to be 51 eps, but let me double check or something. But either regard, we're still wrapping up to the end.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good question before we recorded, so I'm going to now bring it up to you, and you can answer. What do you think is going to happen with Zamigo and the main and the Don? The Don.
Because leading up to this, they've just been like, taking care of each and one of them. Like they're just going up the food chain.
Right.
They're going up the chain of command. At first it was the other guy, then now Gauch. Real.
Wiki says 3-parter, so 51.
51. We still got. I heard because I heard it was gonna be 51 episodes, so we still got a while.
Yeah.
At least up to February.
So there's two more. There's 2 more Ganglers. Main Ganglers.
Main Ganglers, yeah.
So like, it would be Zamigo next, going up that chain of command. But I feel like that's not what's gonna happen. I think Zamigo, because we still don't know what his deal is.
Right.
We honestly don't know what his deal is.
Right.
I think that he's gonna turn on his boss.
Definitely.
I think he's gonna turn on his boss. He's a selfish little ice creator monster. We don't know where their family members are, because we know that after he shoots the gun, they go somewhere. They don't die. They don't die. So they're somewhere.
They're somewhere, yeah.
So he is.
And that's why you're my boss.
I did like that. He was just walking around. That is a really big hat, too. I want to find a hat that big and just walk around. Like, that is just ridiculous how big that hat is.
I'm always a big fan of his poncho. It's just like, it's just whatever, yeah. He's got this
or
weird...
his Cruella de Vil hair.
Yeah, he's got this Cruella de Vil hair because, it's the ice part.
Yeah.
No, I think you're on... I feel like that's probably the more obvious route, because of the fact that the biggest complaint we do have on this show with them is that they are very underdeveloped.
Yeah.
And Zamigo literally disappeared for 3 months. But right now
he's back.
And I feel
like he's the end boss.
Right? Yeah. I feel like right now it's like if he can be exciting and ruthless with these next 3 to 4 episodes. Then I feel like that would be not forgiving of the 3 months he disappeared.
Yes.
But we'll have a better memory of him when the show wraps up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I mean, how do you anticipate this ending?
Well, okay. Besides the villain situation, for sure, it's going to
be a pardon.
I think something like that.
A pardon. There's going to be some form of pardon.
If we see a little bit of the clip for the next week's episode, Keiichiro is telling Kairi he wants to help him. So already we already are seeing that Keiichiro already knows that they are more than just simple thieves. Literally right there.
And they're stealing back their own stuff.
Yeah.
They're stealing back their own stuff.
I think that's the thing is we were talking about how they're not really stealing anything really. But they're criminals. But you did
they're just operating outside of the law, and that's
still illegal.
Yeah, that's still illegal.
The word you used correctly was vigilante, and that is still something that they could still be arrested for.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they're called the Thief Rangers.
Yeah.
But no, I also kind of point out. I mean, that's where we'll probably have this. We'll talk about this next week. But I do like that nice backlit shot.
Yeah,
it's very nice, very operatic and dramatic cop show thing.
Yeah,
and
I do like it.
So I'm looking forward to see how this scene's gonna play out. But yeah, no, we're gonna definitely get them to. We're gonna definitely get. I think it's gonna be for sure. They're gonna become a unit for sure.
Yes.
Also, possibly find out that finally Keiichiro is our Saint Lupat.
Yes! That's why he's so accepting of it. That's why he's gonna help him. Because you're doing my job. But honestly, though, if that was the case, I mean, Noel would know what he looks like, though, right? So
I mean, yes, that is the one thing
that holds back that theory.
Hold back that theory, but we will see. We got a super chat.
Hey, Toku Kid says, how can they arrest them and not the other Sentai?
The other Sentai don't exist, Toku. It's just Lupinranger and the Patorangers. That's the rules of these shows.
Sentai logic.
Until crossovers.
Yes. So
the other shows don't exist until we decide to do a crossover, and then we'll acknowledge their existence.
so now it's time for our favorite part of this episode. Let's rate it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's rate it. If you guys put your rating down in the chat, like always. I would give this episode out of 7 a 5.5.
5.5?
Yeah, 5.5.
Pretty good. Pretty good. I will give it a good solid 6.
Ooh!
It's a very... I love the reveal. The reveal and how everyone's dealing with it. So I'm very happy with this episode.
I'm very happy with it, too.
Audience scores, don't forget. Please tell us.
Put your scores in the chat. There's a little bit of a delay, so we're going to have to wait for them to show that. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I like when I first started the series, I was still high on Q Ranger.
Of course.
High on Q Ranger. So it took a little adjustment. The Blur says 6 out of 7.
Okay.
Tokyo says, well, the crossover as soon as it ends has Lupat red out of 5. Man, they're getting too creative with these things. Hodges, Jared Hodges 6.
Thank you for doing this. Because here's the thing. Continue reading. Read your thing, but I want to bring up why I'm so
Franco,
happy with
5
this.
out of 7. Sempre Forever 6 out of 7. Nathan Arendo 6 out of 7. Ukiya Senpai 7 out of 7.
Ooh,
Mr.
nice.
Pop 5 out of 5. Deca Master says R.I.P. Umika Sakuya. Let's not count that out yet.
No. They still. No. Don't. That ship hasn't sailed the whale quite
that
yet.
ship has not sailed. Layla 6 out of 7.
I love one of the things that this show doesn't hide is that it's clearly Lupin the Third as a Sentai show, and if you're a fan of the anime Lupin the Third, I think that's one of the reasons why this show is sort of hilarious. It's like it's Lupin the Third just enough without being sued, and yes, like the fact is that Keiichu is wearing the biggest trench coat.
I have one of those. I might wear it tomorrow,
dude.
Because I may have a special secret cosplay I might be bringing. Yeah.
What? At what convention?
Pasadena Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So if you guys are in the Southern California area, you guys want to hear the hashtag team talk about how to break into the geek media, come to Pasadena Comic-Con. It's going to be fun.
We'll be there. Check out the panel. It'll be fun. We'll just be walking around, too. Yeah. But yes, no. It's a shame you couldn't find a picture of Lupin the Third with his red jacket, because that's super... But this is a great shot.
This is great.
Hey, boom. That's right. Don't forget.
January 27, 2019.
At the Pasadena Convention Center.
Sunday.
None of us are Patrick Owsley, but thank you, Patrick Owsley, for that art. But yeah, no, I think that's so... Yeah, like, the fact of that matter is, like, have you seen any Lupin the Third episodes?
No, I have not.
You should definitely check those out. They're a lot of fun.
Are they updated? Like, have they kept going up to, like, the 90s?
It's one of those anime franchises that will always, like, every 20 years they'll do another one. But definitely the one I would suggest is if you watch the one in the 70s, which is where the string grab, I think, came from in the 80s. That's... Oh, this is from Castle College. Okay, that's from the movie you can find on Netflix.
Woo!
You can watch that movie on Netflix.
Nice.
So Spielberg is a big fan of this movie.
Oh,
I want to
why
point
have
that
we
out.
not seen a live-action movie then?
There is a live-action Lupin the Third. I haven't seen it.
No, you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I heard it wasn't that great, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Okay.
There it is. Lupin the
Look
Third.
at that, Jack. Why
with the
is he
red
writing
jacket.
him like that?
Because it's funny.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Go.
I'm so happy you did this, producer. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy because I've been bringing up the Lupin the Third connection since I started the reviews of these shows.